All right, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you all how to create what we call a density or a heat map. And you're going to need this so that you can, in your midterm project, be able to easily and quickly identify areas that have a higher concentration or number of points for the open spills. You can see that I already have in my table of contents, I have a layer that is with open spills. And the first thing you need to do is you need to open up what's called Arc. I take that back. The first thing you need to do is click the Customize button and click on Extensions. You need to make sure that the extension for what is called Spatial Analyst is checked. And once you've verified that, you can close out. Now you'll go and you'll open Arc Toolbox. Arc Toolbox allows you to do all sorts of sort of higher end analyses. In the toolbox, you're going to click down here at the Spatial Analyst tools and expand that. You will expand the button that says Density. And then you will double click on what is called Kernel Density. This will prompt you to a screen to input the input points is going to be our open spills. You may leave the population field as none. You want to put the output on your flash drive. And I will put this on my H drive, and I'm going to call this the open, I'll call it spills density. When you're creating what's called a raster file, ArcMap does not like spaces, nor does it like long names. So, for instance, as I just did here, you can see that I got a warning message, which means that the length of it is too long. So it says it cannot be any longer than 13 characters. So I'll go back in and call this spills den. And that should be okay. For everything else on this screen, you'll leave it as the defaults. However, you must click this Environments button. You must click on the Processing Extent. The extent you must select. A layer that says same as layer Virginia. You also must come down to where it says raster analysis, and you will set the mask also to Virginia. This being said, you need to make sure you have a Virginia layer in your table of contents. I select OK, and then OK. And in the bottom right-hand side, it will be creating my map or my new layer. And it will appear in the table of contents. I'm going to close out of Arc Toolbox. I'm going to uncheck my Virginia because my density is below it. And I'm actually even going to uncheck my spills. So I can identify easily areas where there is a greater concentration of spills. The numbers over here, I honestly don't know what they mean, and it's not important. It simply means that the darker the number, the greater the concentration of spills. You can always go in the symbology for this new layer and change it and change the number of classes. So for instance, say you only wanted 5 classes. It doesn't really matter to me. But that, again, really highlights areas that have higher densities. If you have questions on how to do this, I suggest if after watching this tutorial you didn't understand what to do, then I suggest rewatching it while you have your ArcMap open. And you can also go and do a search on the internet for how to create a density or heat map in ArcMap Desktop.